Einstein once said, "I often think in terms of music. I live my daydreams in music. I see my life in terms of music." People surround themselves with music every single day of their lives, and most don't even realize they're doing it. Personally, I've been involved with music since my 7th birthday, and I can still remember the immediate connection I felt when I touched my very first guitar. It took me about 8 more years after that to gain more understanding about why I connected with music the way I did. Over those years, I picked up on how to play around 14 different instruments, but I always shook it off as luck or natural skill. Then one day, ironically, while I was putting off practicing my instrument, I got into this article about perfect pitch, and the more I read into it, the more I thought, this is me, and I was absolutely fascinated. I was able to recall how I could remember things or associate things so much more easily when I thought about them in terms of music, or how I noticed all the small things in my life that I associated with music already, like how the train down by my mom's house makes that weird little train noise, whatever you call that, on an F sharp, or how most toilets flush on an E flat, or how my dog barks on an A flat. It's almost an A natural. Almost. I remember having a conversation about this with my band director last year, and during our conversation she said to me, "It's funny how the world is so out of tune so much of the time, isn't it?" I'm pretty sure she meant this in a casual, more literal way, but the more I thought about it, I still think about it today, and I think it holds to quite a metaphorical term as well. In my ignorance, I used to think that the whole world saw and thought and heard and lived in the terms of music that I did, but it turns out very few people do this. I can hear the tones of everyday things going on around me, and I can also hear them in people's voices. You can hear the dissonance when people speak sometimes too, and it makes me wince in the same way that I do when I hear a C natural and a C sharp played at the same time, or when I hear a note that's so flat I think it should be illegal to play it that way. If you think back to any time period in history, I promise you'll find some pretty significant problems with it, but I think you'll also find that there were a lot of good things going on too, and this is really general, but if you just apply it, it's like acts of forgiveness, or people doing good deeds for others, or even just simple, random acts of kindness. And when people focused on those good qualities, they seem to far outweigh the bad ones, like, once again, this is really general, war and fighting, or disease or famine. They used these good qualities that they had in their lives to seemingly outweigh the bad ones and use it as motivation to change the things they didn't like. And when they relied on each other and their environments, they used that as motivation to make their own beautiful music instead of criticizing everything they didn't like about the melodies they were hearing. Now, our world today is so out of tune, it's actually kind of scary. We as a society are in the middle of some pretty serious issues, and we still have yet to realize that the only way we can fix these is to be in tune with each other and work together instead of against each other. It's easier said than done, I know, but it could be as simple as listening to somebody when they want to share their perspective on an important topic. Because it really can't be that hard to just listen to what someone has to say, regardless of whether or not you agree with it, regardless of whether or not you like the pitch they're talking at, because it's their tone that matters. Okay, anyways, I know it's a lot easier said than done, and it would definitely take some time and persistence and a fair amount of effort, but the same music that we all love and cherish so much takes that same exact drive and care and persistence that we all use unconsciously or subconsciously to create and shape. So like I said, it would take some time and effort to do this, but if you want to be in tune with the world, it's more than just knowing about what frequency something is vibrating at or what pitch something is making. It's about knowing of the discord in the world, and beyond that, it's about wanting to change it right now. So it'll take some time, and it'll take some persistence from all of us, but maybe eventually we'll all be more in tune with each other and the world around us. Maybe then we'll all live in the terms of music that I do, and maybe in a way we'll all have perfect pitch.